Hey, American contractors, viewers of the American Contractor Show. I'm here with John Dye at Win the Storm, and I have to tell you, anyone that is associated with American Contractor Show, you are a badass.
Big shout out to American Contractor Show. If you don't know, you definitely need to check out the Storm Summit. They're doing it in excellence. Check them out.
Hey, what's up? This is your friend, Francisco Serrano. If you haven't checked it out, American Contractor Show, YouTube channel, Facebook channel, Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms, you need to go them, like them, start learning about your craft.
Hey, I'm Matt Danskin with Restoration Referral System. Check out the American Contractor Show. The truck that they've got is awesome. Everything else that they have going on.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the for changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor who's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
What's up, everybody? I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast. Sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and now American Contractor. Go check out our friends of the show, linked in our description. But for now, let's talk about a little bit of weather. So today we've got more hail chances for the Northeast as well as the Northern Plains, kind of a repeat event of what we saw yesterday. And then into tomorrow, looking at more hail chances up north. We could possibly see some hail in Bismarck, and that's pretty much the story for tomorrow. And then, as usual, we're going to take a look at the tropics. Tropical storm Elsa made landfall earlier this morning, and so we're going to take a look at the future track and impacts of that. But before we get into all of that good stuff, we're going to talk a little bit about our upcoming events here. So first things first, our 2021 FRSA Convention and Expo. That's going to be in Kissimmee, Florida, July 21st through the 23rd at the Gaylord Palms Resort. So if you guys are in that Kissimmee area, or if you just want to take a trip out to Florida to say hello, go ahead and get registered for that event. And then after that, we are going to be at the NTRCA Mini Trade Show on August 4th at Grapevine, Texas. That's going to be at the Grapevine Convention Center, so you guys can come see us there. And then last but not least, this one's really exciting for us guys. We are hosting the Thunder Road Race for Recovery. That's going to be at the Oklahoma Motorsports Complex in Norman, Oklahoma. So that's going to be September 15th. This is a really cool event, guys. All of the proceeds go to Roofers in Recovery. So if you guys want to get out there, come say hello to us, come meet us, get some races in, and also go to a good cause. This is that event for you. So go ahead and get registered for the Thunder Road Race for Recovery on September 15th. So now that we got our events out of the way, we're going to talk a little bit about our current conditions. Beautiful across the whole western part of the U.S. A little bit of a different story once you get out east, a little bit rainier down into Florida. We had Tropical Storm Elsa make landfall around 11 o'clock this morning. So that's what that looks like right now. Whole lot of rain, flash flooding associated with that. A couple of possible tornadoes here and there as we get some spin ups while that moves up through the northeast. So that's going to continue to weaken today. However, that's our story for Florida for right now. And then up into the northern plains here, completely different story. Sunny, got some partly cloudy skies up through the Dakotas, sunny through Montana, and then got some showers getting ready to make their way through. However, it's going to have plenty of time for that daytime heating that we need for those storms to develop later this afternoon. And then into the northeast, we're kind of seeing what we're going to see later on this afternoon. Those storms starting to bubble up through Ohio and West Virginia, and those are going to make their way northeastward later into this afternoon, bringing us some severe hail and wind chances. Then across the country for our temperatures, sitting in the 80s and Our 80s and 70s across the east, a little bit cooler up in Minneapolis at 62, sitting in the 60s along the west coast. So pretty summery conditions across most of the US. Humid for most of us through the east. You can see that cutoff where those Rocky Mountains lie. And then to the east of that, we're going to be in the 60s and 70s for our dew points. Drier out to the west since we've got those mountains that are blocking all of that moisture from getting past them. And then plenty of humidity to go around once you get out to the east. So for our instability in the atmosphere into this afternoon and evening, so we've got plenty of it to go around for the nation. However, we're looking at the northeast and the northern plains for our risk areas into today. So we got a little bit bubbling up by the end of the evening through the northeast. That could help pop a couple of hailstorms through that area. And then still sitting in those low to moderate values through the northern plains here from Rapid City all the way up past the eastern part of Montana there, past Bismarck. We are looking more at lapse rates, which is just how quickly the environment cools with height. We're looking at lapse rates to help us with our storms out in Montana right now, since we are sitting in those moderate Cape values, and then these higher Cape values will help us with our instability for the northeast. And then you guys know the drill. As the sun goes down, Cape goes down with it. So into what our storms are going to look like into later this afternoon. So for the northeast, we already saw those storms starting to bubble up by early afternoon. And then as those push northeastward through the evening, we're going to start to see them intensify a little bit, really ramping up by 5 p.m., forming some clusters here and there, and those could produce some gusty winds as well as a hailstone or two along with it. And then through the end of the evening into the overnight hours, we're going to see those continue to group together through New York, through Pennsylvania. Again, a couple of those could produce some damaging winds. That's our main threat with this. However, we could still see some isolated hail along with it. And then into the overnight hours into the evening, those are continuing their northeastward extent, and we'll see those start to fizzle out a little bit as we lose all that instability. Then into the northern plains here. So through Montana, we're starting to see those storms start to pop up by 5 p.m., really messy looking through there. And then we're going to get a couple of isolated cells through Wyoming, through South Dakota. Those could produce some larger hail along with it while they stay isolated, but they're going to be very short-lived. Check this out, by 10 p.m. those are moving southeast and then they're gone. And then we got this band of storms that's starting to line up, cluster together, and that could produce a damaging wind threat with it. Then into the overnight hours, that pushes to the southeast and we could see, again, some damaging winds. Our hail chances are going to start to taper off through the overnight hours as that pushes to the southeast and then dies down. So here's what we have for our forecast max hail size. We're thinking probably around hen egg size. For some of those isolated storms that get ramped up a little bit, we could see some larger hail with that. Mostly quarters to $half through the northeast. We could get a larger hailstone here or there with some stronger storms. And then, like I said, hen eggs through the northern plains with some of those storms that stay separated from the other ones. So for our hail forecast, here's what we have for you guys. So through the northeast, quarters to $half, like I said. Through Montana and through the northern plains, we could get some larger hail. So let's take a look here at our city-specific forecast. So through the northeast, like I said, quarter to $half, anywhere from Boston all the way through Cleveland into the western or eastern part of Indiana. We could see some hail chances along with that, mostly gusty winds through there. And then up through the northern plains here, through Montana, through Wyoming, the Dakotas, we could see some quarters anywhere in that area. We're looking at our larger hail mostly through just the middle of Montana, not much through there, probably going to stay between Glasgow and Billings. And then just west of Rapid City, that's where we're going to see those isolated cells start to pop up. That could produce some hail upwards of golf ball size, possibly 2 inches with those as they quickly move southeast and then die off. So because they're moving so quick, because they stay mostly to the west, Rapid City, we're not going to put you in a high chance for anything. We're going to leave you guys at a moderate chance just because I think those are going to stay west of you. However, if they do push far enough east, you guys could get some larger hail with that. So for our wind forecast, looking at mostly the same areas into today, plus tropical storm Elsa risk through the southeast. So moving into the northeast, first things first. So we got our same risk area that we're looking through the northeast here, as well as Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. Anywhere from Chicago all the way into New York and Boston could see some damaging winds with those clusters that move through. And then into the Cleveland area, again, clusters that are moving through that could produce some damaging winds along with it. Through Montana, Looking at kind of the same risk area like we said, so we're looking all the way from eastern Montana into the western part of the Dakotas here. We're going to see, we saw those storms banding up pretty quickly and then pushing their way eastward. That's where we could get that damaging wind threat. Could go through Billings, probably going to stay south of Glasgow into this afternoon. And then finally for tropical storm now, Tropical Storm Elsa, that's moving through the very northern part of Florida right now, just southeastward of Jacksonville. You guys are already seeing the rain and winds from that. Was producing winds up to 70 miles an hour as of this morning, so just below Category 1 status, and that's going to continue to push its way northeastward, rapidly weakening as it moves over land, so it's likely that you guys aren't going to see crazy severe winds all the way up towards Charleston. However, we could still see a tornado risk here and there as that continues to spin some storms up, moving northeastward through the area. So that's what we have for you guys for today. Into tomorrow, the northeastward risk starts to taper off a little bit. We could still get some winds from Elsa. However, main hail risk is going to come from the northern plains once again, so North and South Dakota as well as Montana. Could see some larger hail. Early afternoon, not much to speak of, but then by 3 p.m. those storms blow up really quickly. We start to see a bunch of isolated storms moving through the very northeastward part of Montana. And then as the afternoon rolls on, those push southeastward pretty quickly and start to get pretty angry as they do. We're going to see some large hail possible with these storms as they push southeastward. And then as the night goes on, they do start to get a little messier. They start to band up. That's when we could get a wind threat as well as a localized hail threat as those push their way off to the southeast. So this is what that's going to look like for you guys. So into the Dakotas and Montana, where those storms were, that's where we're getting our hail threat for tomorrow. We could see hail up to hen egg size, possibly 2.5 inch with those isolated storms. So zooming on in there, we can take a look. Not a whole lot of big cities in that risk area right now. Bismarck, you guys are on the very eastward extent of those storms. So you guys are at a low end chance of getting $0.25 to $0.5. And then Glasgow, you guys are likelier to see some larger hail as those storms pass to your east. We could get them forming far enough west to hit you in Glasgow. So 2 to 2.5 inch hail possible anywhere in this corridor between Glasgow and Bismarck. And then all the way to the southeast, we could get $0.25 to $0.5. Those hail chances are going to taper off as those storms band up into tomorrow afternoon and evening. So for the next few days, we do have a risk out for tomorrow, for Friday as well. We're going to continue to see those hail risks popping up here and there. Right now, here's what we're looking like across the country. We are piping hot in Arizona in the Four Corners region. You guys are sweltering out there. And then cooler, not so much cool, but cooler up in the northeast as we get this trough kind of dipping, bringing all of that cooler air out of the northeast and through the Canada region out into that area. So as we move into tomorrow, or as we move into Friday, we're going to see this short little baby trough start to move through, and then this bigger trough that's brought all of our severe risks through the northeast, that's going to push off of the east coast. But we're watching this little baby trough as it pushes through on Friday, and that could help pop a few storms through the upper plains once again into the end of the week and this weekend. But this cool air is going to linger through the upper Midwest here, and this hot air, I'm sorry to tell you guys, that's going to stick around for a while here as we wait for that to move out of the area. We're just going to continue to see this trough dipping down. That could help bring us some storms through the east as well as the northeast, but it's going to stay pretty dry across the west as we wait for that hot air to get out of the area. Then into hurricane season, into our tropical topics here, tropic topics. We've got our storm that made landfall here in the western part of Florida. That's happened earlier this morning around 11 o'clock. That's going to continue to move northeastward. Like I said, it's going to weaken very rapidly as it moves over land. So we're dropping all the way from 65 miles an hour this morning all the way down to 40 miles per hour as that gets over Georgia. Going to continue to move its way northeastward, pushing off the coast by Friday morning, working its way up to 40 miles an hour in wind speeds. That's what our forecast is as it moves off the coast, but it's really not going to have much of a chance to weaken or to strengthen as it pushes over those cooler waters, less favored environment. So we're going to be all the way off the coast by Sunday morning. Out of everybody's neck of the woods, shouldn't be a problem anymore. So that's what our main story is for our tropicals right now. Not much in terms of anything going on except for Elsa. We're just waiting for that to move out of the area. So if you guys are in Georgia, if you guys are in South Carolina or Florida, that is going to head towards you today into tomorrow. So make sure you guys are prepared for some gusty winds, Lots of rain, possible tornadoes with that as it continues to push its way overland and get off the coast so we can stop worrying about it. We are going to keep you guys updated on that as well as our hail chances for the next few days. If you guys want to keep in touch with us, you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure to hit See First on Facebook so you never miss our live videos, and you can also hit that subscribe bell on YouTube so you get notifications whenever we go live. And then if you guys want to get in contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can also email us if you would rather at info@hailtrace.com, or check out our website, hailtrace.com, for more info on who we are and what we do. We love keeping you guys advised on the local weather, so we will be back tomorrow at noon with your daily forecast. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.